Alright, picking up where we left off. I made a mistake when I was typing this out. Instead of saying that this is used as the injection point, we should say something like um, is used as the base address for the injection points of Karma during character creation and in-game. So let's just read that. AOB remove point CC is used as the base address for the injection points of Karma during character creation and in-game. I'll buy that. Alright, so we have AOB by item. That'll return some address based on our string, or our byte string, or our bytes. Then we have an injection point for by item. Then we have an entry process or function. Then we have a process, and then we have a return. We register the symbol for the injection point. Here is where we are defining the entry. Then we're jumping to the process, and then we're just doing whatever this code is up here. That was a D02, D02, so we just cut it out and did that. And we're jumping to the return, which is right here, and then we go down here, and when we disable it, it will go to that address and put the original code back in, and then we are unregistering the symbol. So how do we know how many NOPs we have to pad here? We talked about this in a previous video, but no, that might be interesting. No, because entry by item, inject by item, that is actually, well, I clicked on it, so I lost it over here. That sucks. I forget what it was. Oh, well, it's right there. It's D24. So D24. Is that right? Yep, that's right. So what you can do is you can count this up and say, well, I'm pretty sure that jump is a 1 byte instruction, and then I'm on a 32-bit machine, which is 4 bytes, and we'll talk about word sizes in a future date, but for now it is good enough to basically just say that memory addresses on 32 memory addresses are 4 bytes. That's what we're going to say. So you have jump here. Sorry, you have jump here, which is 1 byte, and then you have the memory address over here, entry by item, which is 4 bytes, so that's 5 bytes. What do you have here? You have 3 bytes, which is where we are injecting, and then there's 3 bytes here, so that's 6 bytes, so you could say that you have to pad it with 1 NOP. But what you can do instead is just highlight your injection point and then go to tools, auto assemble, template, code injection, make sure it lines up, and just do that. And Cheat Engine will basically just do all the math for you. And it's just like, okay, here's your injection point, here's where you're going to jump to. In this example, it's new mem, and then it's just 1 NOP. So we will just put the 1 NOP in there. Is there an easier way to sort of can we just ask Cheat Engine how many NOPs do we have to pad or whatnot if we're going to do that? I'm not aware of any way to do it aside from what we just did by going to tools and auto assemble. We'll take a quick look here. Yeah, I don't know. That's just how I do it. Sometimes if it's, if I'm injecting at a 5 byte location or a 5 byte instruction, then I'm just going to say, well, a jump plus some memory address is 5 bytes, and I'm not going to put the NOP there. So anyway, that's kind of how you figure that out, or that is how I figure that stuff out. Let's hit OK and see if Cheat Engine says fine. It does. So now we're going to get into the issue of, since we started up this game, have we actually gone to the Karma screen and hit plus and minus? We have not. Or at least I don't believe we have. Now, how is that a problem? It's a problem because these AOB scans right here for these first 3 that have to deal with Karma are going to return nothing. And if, as we talked about, if one AOB scan fails, then your script will never enable. It's a hard exit. So let's just hit enable and see what happens. Cheat Engine's going to not respond, and it's going to lock up to some extent. And then it will eventually come back to life and just not enable the script. at some point here. There you go. Does not enable the script. And now that we just did that, let me just go up to Cam Studio here and say recording thread, or it is above normal. It's not important what that means. So whatever are we to do? What we are to do is to essentially just break these scripts out and start creating separate scripts. Or the alternative is when you put up your table, you just tell people this script will not enable until you buy an item and spend some karma, and then you can enable the script. But then you sort of get in the scenario where every time you add any bit of functionality to your script, the laundry list of shit that the user has to go through to force everything into memory gets longer and longer and more complicated and requires more time investment in the game. Using this as an example, you don't just off the top of my head, it's some time in the game before you can actually buy an item. So the fact that you folded, or that we have sort of folded the money hack and to get into the same script as the karma hacks, you get into this scenario. So we will just prove that point. So we will come in here, we will click plus, we will click minus, and then I'm not even going to bother clicking confirm. I'm just going to go right back to Cheat Engine and try to enable the script, see if it works now. It does. So again, manage code, simultaneously awesome and horrible. Oh, that's interesting. Go back. So we will hit confirm. So now the script is in memory. We can hit plus and we get 100. We can hit minus and then we get not 50. Oh, because man, my heart just stopped there for a second. Because when we change the script around to push 100, when you click plus or minus, so basically it just never changes. And now we will go here and we will take a look and we will buy something just to make sure the game does not crash. The game crashed. That's unfortunate. So it was long overdue that we screwed something up. So we could go right back into the game. But what I want to do is I want to come back out here or open up the script and just sort of eyeball it. We can close all these memory viewers because all that memory is toast. All this memory is toast. I don't think we really need the calculator, but we'll minimize it and keep it. So what could have gone wrong? We have an AOB scan. Is scanning for that. We have the alloc that we're injecting. Yep. And we're coming down here, and then the AOB by item minus 22 because it's later in memory, so we're going backwards. And then we have inject by item, jumps to entry by, and then we've had it with the NOP, and then there's return. Let's go to entry, jumps to process by, does that at that instruction, which we have not modified, and then it jumps to return. And it couldn't have been anything in the disable section because we didn't ever get a chance to disable it, as evidenced by the fact that it's still enabled. All we did was execute this line. All we did was execute the code on our injection point, and the game went out to lunch. All right, so that's sort of where we're going to start from here. What are we going to do? We are going to go to, let's take one more look at that. All right, let's go to, shit, is that going to work? Yes, it will. All right. This is the guy we want to talk to. Just because I don't want to deal with it, we're just going to go to the karma screen, do this, do that. We're going to break these scripts up in a future video, but just for now, we're going to hunt down the bug. All right, so let's grab this and let's search for it. We may not find it because, again, manage code. You may have to buy something before this stuff is in memory. So again, right there, you get no results. We can delete this because that's of no use to us. And we'll go here. I'll take a look, and then we will buy something. Do I want to do that, or do I want to search for 9999 first? We'll do that. So we'll go to new scan, 4 bytes, get rid of that, and some huge number. and we will go here and buy something. Confirm. Then we'll open this back up and we get 99249 just like we did before. This time we only get one result. That sits much better with me. So now we will come out and grab this AOB. That we get one location. So let's just open up the memory viewer and go there. Well, let's find out what writes to this address. We should see this pop up over here. Buy something else. 0C, 0B. It's not the same because it should be 22 bytes away, as we were dealing with in the previous series. So or the previous video. So let's go to hex 0C, 0B, C8BA. We will add 22. Did I do that right? 0C, 0B, C8BA plus. That's wrong. What are we doing wrong? Alright, so we won't do that sort of thing. What we will do is. Why would that? Because it's coming up with 3, 4. Think about this. 0C, 0B, 8D, 3, 4, 8D, 8D. Should be way down here. Alright, so we just had some pattern that's way more than 22 bits away. Or 22 bytes away. So what we actually started doing was 83EC14. Did I type? Am I just 04? Did I just type that wrong in the previous video? And then 8B7508. No, that's, I wouldn't. 7D75. That's not a typo I'm going to make. And then 83ECOC. Yeah, that's radically different. So our AOB here is essentially not doing us any favors. So I'm not sure where we screwed that up. There's probably it's just a different set entirely of instructions in some different spot in memory. So what is it? 8BA. So we'll just go back to the beginning here. 8BA, or what is it? 8BA. Yeah. So it's that. So again, what we did is we made the byte string and we ended up skipping the 15, and that's why we went back a little bit. So let's just go up. See if we can find this other carbon copy that's sitting in memory. FC and then 3900, and then that's it. We get one. It's interesting. So what I'm working out in my head here is the reason that we started doing the offset thing is because we were finding two copies of it in memory. And what I'm thinking is that it's because we bought and then sold an item, and then those two functions were both existing in memory, and they have extremely similar code. So to sort of maybe make that point a little bit, or to prove my theory there, let's do 894834, and then we'll skip the next two because there's some memory address in there, and then 83EC08, and then I don't know, we'll just do 5 wildcards. See if we only get one. We do, we get one. Now let's go in the game and sell something. Stash. Sell from my stash. Let's go back out. Go to new scan and do the same scan. And there you go. Now you get two. So very similar code. Almost I would be willing to bet, again, just like with the Karma, is a carbon copy. So what we did was we went to select current function, and then we went down below it, and we started digging out some pattern over here. We got ourselves into trouble. So let's do new window. Maybe that first pattern will work now because, well, we'll get to that. There's that, and then the ret is kind of the end of that function, but we'll just right click, go to select, go down to the bottom. There's the ret. That's the end of it. All right, so there's that, and then that. We can make it do a little better. Huh. Send 00005558B57. So now these two are different right here. It's just the way that they're setting up the functions. Um, I'm hesitant to try this same trick because of exactly what just happened. So let's see if we can hit Control Z and get that back. Let's see if we search for this now, see what we get. We get nothing. Yeah, that's because I changed that. D34, OCOB, D34. So 0B, and then it's 8, and that's a C. That is way the hell out there in memory relative to these two. I don't know what this function is, and I don't know what this function is either. We were able to get away with it, or at least as far as we could tell, in the original, or in the Karma stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to above before these functions and see what kind of code we have up here. Some pretty different code. So let's find a spot where there's no address. We'll start right here. Because this is the buy window and that's the sell window. And there's really seems to be very little similarity, if at all, between these. So let's just start right here and do 8D, 65F8, and then 5E, and then 5F, and then C9, and then C3. That's quite a few results. So then C3, and then obviously you have the zeros and stuff. That's a little better. Let's add some bytes. Can we add some bytes? No. So where did we get stopped? We would leave off 55, 8B, and then we had EC, and then 83 EC08. That's a pretty good byte string. That's fairly unique. If these instructions stay in memory in the same way, then I would personally I would feel okay about this byte string. That's generally, I mean, I remember in a previous video I had said generally your byte strings will come out to about here. That's kind of where it's the 79, 80 character level. Like that's where I feel I'm like, okay, has enough entropy, if you will, that it's sufficiently random. So let's go through this again. So now we have to sort of recalculate the offset that we're applying. We started it with 83C410, which is this instruction right here. So we'll take out the calculator, and it's relative to this address right here. So we are in hexadecimal. So now we are before or prior in memory. So now the base will be 0C, 0B, C8BA. And we'll subtract from that this location because we're above or prior to the function or instruction that we are messing with. So then we're subtracting from that 0C, 0B, C839. We get 81. So if this stays the same, then it will return this address. And then in order to get to the instruction that we want to be at, we have to add 81. And yet the game crashed as soon as we went into it. So let's go back here. or as soon as we went in and bought an item. Is it because of a jump boundary maybe? Because we returned and then on the jump boundary that might be it. If that's it, then we'll talk about sometimes why you can't clobber certain instructions, or why it's difficult to clobber instructions prior or immediately prior to a jump. But so we'll hit OK. We'll try and enable the script. We have hit plus and we have hit minus and we have dealt with karma. So that stuff should be in memory. And we have bought something, so there you go. Oh, that's why. So we're doing that. All right, let's see if we disable the script. Yep, that's okay. That is the problem. You can see that there was a jump instruction that was right here, and when we enabled the script, that jump was destroyed. And then when we disabled the script, the jump was not restored, and there was a hard-coded memory address in there. And so when we actually, there's nothing we can do about it now. We're just pretty much screwed. But we'll certainly demonstrate that in a second. But I doubt, can we even re-enable it? Apparently we can. Inject by item, and it's jumping to this address. We'll say follow, and now here's our script in assembly. So I mean, that's the basic sort of code injection is functional and is working fine. But it's that we're destroying this jump that it was here in the original memory. And there's no way, unless you can rewind the video or something and be like, well, what jump, and you'll see it there, and now it's gone because we were just careless and we destroyed it. So let's go back in the game, mess around a little bit. Can we go here and do this and do that? Because we're not forcing the game to evaluate this. We're not forcing the game to evaluate this code right here yet. And let's just, to prove the point that we really screwed up, I will get rid of. We will disable our script, and so the original code as we put it in here is restored, and all is right with the world, except it's not because we screwed up the jump. So again, our script is disabled. Let's go in here, say I'll take a look. As soon as we hit that and go to confirm, the game goes out to lunch, never to return. Let's see if I can bring that back up. Yeah, it's toast. All right, so we're going to stop it here, and we'll come back and talk about how we're going to deal with this.